So this is basically going to be what I call my inspiration series. It's going to be a combination of my story. We'll see how many videos this makes. First, we'll start off with my story, and then we'll evolve it into sort of like what that means to me, how I've lived my life like that, how it's made an impact on me. Maybe help you guys. We'll see. Maybe it'll turn into a series of other things too. Who knows? I'm super bored being on my own now and not being really involved in the Quidditch community, so this is my way in to staying in touch with you guys. I'll start from the very beginning. I started playing club soccer when I was 11. I played like YMCA before that, but I wanted to take it to the next level. I have always been sort of very small. Shocker. And soccer was no different. I was like the tiniest person. I was also super petite because I almost like didn't eat anything because I was super picky when I was little, so it was even worse. I had no muscle on me whatsoever. When I first tried out, there were 3 teams in the division I was in, and I made the C team. Of course, I was really disappointed, and I was like, you know, man, like, thought I'd do better than that, but whatever. You know, you gotta work with what you gotta just work with it. So anyways, first year, yeah, I was there, but I worked really hard. Next year I moved up a level, so I was on now the B team. Stuck there for till high school pretty much. Playing on the next level was just really hard. I had to work harder than anyone else. It didn't naturally come to me. Then freshman year of high school, I made the A team, and I was like blown away. I was so happy. I was so like I'd been working so hard, and I was ecstatic. Going into high school, you know, you have tryouts for varsity, you have JV varsity, so, and I was at a school where pretty much everybody that played club soccer was going to make varsity. That's just kind of how it was, but it was still tough. There was about like 4 or 5 spots that were, you don't really know. Like, they can only accept a certain amount of players. Freshmen, obviously, you're on the bottom of the list. You know, super nervous about all that. I didn't really know what was going to happen. You know, I slightly expected to be on varsity just because of my position and being on the Division I team. You know, it boosted confidence. I was like, oh, I should. Like, you know, it makes sense, but I didn't want to take it for granted. It was a good thing I didn't, because I didn't make the team. And I was, you know, super bummed, because I mean, I felt like I should have made it. I felt like I was good enough to be on the team. Or what made it worse was one of the freshmen that made it over me, who was also my friend at the time, but she was on the team below me in club. I was just like, dang, you know, in club they saw this, like, what are they not seeing here? Like, what did I do? Or what did I not show them? I just had one thought in my mind. I was like, I'm gonna prove them wrong. I'm gonna show them, you know, I deserve to be here. This is where my story gets real interesting, and it kind of sounds like something from a movie. It's pretty cool, and this is 100% true. I was really shy, so I barely knew anybody on that team. I had one friend that was like my age, but she was pretty much my only friend besides a few of the other freshmen I knew from club. But none of the upperclassmen, I didn't really talk with them much or anything like that. But when they saw the list, they made an uproar. They literally went to the coach and told him, Molly deserves to be on this team. Like, what are you doing? What's wrong with you? And they came to me too, and they were telling me, you know, this is ridiculous. You know, you're going to be on varsity. Like, this is stupid. Like, we've seen how hard you work and whatnot. And it was so genuine and so meaningful to me, because I was in a phase where I felt like barely anybody recognized me. Like, you know, or knew me or cared about me. I was just kind of there. And then the next day, one of the girls had taken the time to write me about a 2-page letter. I didn't even know this girl. I didn't even know who she was. I was just like, she just gave it to me, and I read it all, and it was so moving, and it was such like a huge point in my life. Just that letter in of itself. It was just basically, she didn't want me to give up. She wanted me to do what I was thinking. You know, no, show them, like, you know, show them what you can do. Like, prove it to them. Like, prove it to them like you've proven to us. You know, I was in the mindset, you know, I might not get on varsity right away. You know, it may take a few games. It may not even happen at all. Like, I had to come to terms with that fact. That might not happen. And I just had to accept it. But about like a week and a half into like practices, the varsity girls like slowly like pulled me. They're like, hey, you know, come play with us. And the coach ended up putting me on varsity pretty much before season even started. Obviously, I'm not a starter out the bat. You know, I'm a freshman. I, you know, barely made it on a team, and I still had a long ways to go. I was aware of that. Like, I worked my ass off at practice. I you know, didn't complain about anything. I just always gave it 110% and kept myself in the mindset of, you know, yeah, I want to make myself better, but I want to make myself better to make my team better, to make the players around me better. I finally got the opportunity, you know, when I started playing, I was a defender, and I ended up being a starter. It was just such a crazy feeling from where everything started out, and I was just like, this is so awesome. And to have that hard work pay off was like such a great moment. The kind of like the cherry on top of everything was the end of the season. We have, you know, awards. Anybody that's been a part of any high school team, you have like your MVP, defensive MVP, stuff like that. We also had an award that was called the Lady War Eagle. We were the War Eagle, so it was like the Lady War Eagle Award, which essentially was like the player that best represented the team, was the most spirited, and the team votes for these. And I tied with one of the upperclassmen, and we both got recognized for the award. I have like no words. To be recognized by these people that I didn't even think really like knew me or cared about me that much. I mean, at the end of the season I definitely did, but from the beginning to where it was then, I was just kind of like, wow, like I didn't realize how much I needed that until after it all happened. And this is, I guess, how I'll transition kind of into my next video, but it put me in the mindset of, you know, I want to do that for people. Like, I want to be that person. Like, I want to inspire people as best I can in that same way. Like, show them what they're worth, help them get through. Like, it seems so simple, but it can make such a huge impact on someone. It wasn't such a complicated situation. It was just someone being like a kind human, you know, and being there for me. But that can make such a huge impact on a person at a certain point in their life. Being that person and being an inspiration, like, I can't even, like, again, this is why I couldn't write this. I have such a hard time explaining it even. But that's sort of, I guess, where I'll start. Hopefully this will sound okay. I'll add here too, if anybody has anything they ever want to talk to me about, especially sports related or team related, talk to me. I will help you out as best as I can. So, yeah, this is part 1 of my inspiration series. Hope you found this interesting. Later.